Hello there, Itroo here. Today we're going to be having a look at the store system. The store system is a consumption reduction system very similar to how the cafes, restaurants and bars work, which were brought in with the tourism DLC. They have a recipe system which you can input goods, and as long as you provide those goods, you'll have a consumption reduction bonus in a radius around the actual store. Now, how do the stores differ from the cafes and restaurants and bars? Whereas the cafes and bars reduce the consumption rate of 3 goods, these stores will reduce 2 stats. However, they will increase income as well to offset the increased number of maintenance costs from the actual skyscrapers. So there are 3 stores that you'll be unlocking, and there will be the department store, the furniture store, and then lastly will be the drugstore. So if we have a look at the department store here, in the recipes we have 5 options. The first 3 are part of the default game. The 4th one is locked behind the Passage DLC, and the 5th one is locked behind the Embessa DLC. So if we have a look at the first one, the toaster is the first one that we'll actually unlock. It is steel, filaments, zinc, all very easy to obtain, to import and make goods. So this is a very cheap and easy one to actually do. Now the actual stats you're going to have bonus on this, it is only boosting happiness by +2 and income by 5%, so very low. It is reducing the light bulbs, which is a main population and increasing size population item. And it is also increasing consumption reduction on the rings, which is a happiness and income item. So the rings, which is a small amount, and the light bulbs, which is a medium to small amount. For its cost of import of items, it's not too bad. However, it's probably not one of the better ones you want to actually be utilizing. Now the next one you'll be locking is the vacuum cleaner. It requires wool, which is very, very easy to obtain. Steel, again, very, very easy to obtain. And then it is reducing or consuming celluloid. Now this is going to be the hard point on this one, as the stats that it increases: 5 happiness, very good. 16% income, very nice. 25% on spectacles, that's very strong max on the actual consumption reduction. And 15% on the carriages, which is another big production line. So this one is extremely useful for its stats and money increasing. However, the celluloid is going to be the problem, as the celluloid is a slow and long processing tree, and you're going to be using a lot in your hotels and skyscrapers anyway for your production chains. So if you are struggling on celluloid, this won't be the one to go for. However, if you have an abundance of it, it is definitely one to actually contend with. Now on the next page, we have what is a fairly useful one, as it's very easy to make. Clay, you have an abundance of. Quartz, both you can import, very easy to make. The lacquer is a new item in Highlife, and it is fairly easy to obtain and make. And you are going to be increasing happiness by 4% or 4 points, and income by 15, which is fairly decent. The gramophones, reducing consumption by 10%. That is a happiness item, whereas the cigars is going to be a population item, but it is 25%. Now, depending on how you are going on your production chains, whether it is actually worth going for this one or the second one. This is overall much more powerful. However, the spectacles are very easy to make. The steam carriages you'll be probably making a lot of, and they can be produced at a high rate. The cigars are a new world item and can be imported. However, if you're relying on imports by your own production chains, because the cigars are such a slow production and take a lot of actual space to do, this could be actually a better economy build one, And if you have an abundance of goods, this is probably the better one for the vacuum cleaners. Now, for the actual DLC content, the passage one is the refrigerator, which takes caoutchouc, steel, both very easy and can be imported, and the gas is going to be one of the sticking points. Now, depending on how much gas you're actually using and how well you're actually extracting it, you could have a lot of gas. And if you do, you're going to be getting the biggest amount of income increase, 22%, for happiness. Penny farthings, you'll be reducing by 20%. However, that is just a happiness and income item. So this is really good for boosting income. And this is 10%, which is on light bulb, which again is a population increasing item. These are both population increasing items. So on this one, the refrigerator is fairly weak apart from its actual income boosting stat. Penny farthings are very easy to make, and you'll probably be making a lot of penny farthings anyway for the extra goods through Bruno and Dario anyway. The last item is the Embesser locked one, which is the briefcase. Now previously, until the last patch, this was fairly redundant, as the effects from the other items here affects all old world residents and except scholars. Now the last one, which is 20% reduction on the booties and 10% on the cigars. However, this one now doesn't actually affect the all old world residents, so that will affect the scholars now. So the boots are very, very good on the exchange rate. You can import a lot of them. The cigars, again, you're probably going to struggle on a little bit. However, it's only a 10% reduction, which isn't particularly great. It is good at boosting happiness. However, the happiness stat to boost on these scholars is fairly easy to maintain anyway. And you don't really get income from the actual people anyway, so that's not too great. Now the brass, if you're going to be making it yourself, can be a pain. However, it is importable. Same with these Sanga cows. And again, we are looking at the celluloid. And again, you're better off utilizing the celluloid in your main production lines for like your carrot, for your dolls and your billiard tables and all the other production chains and stuff like that, because it is a limited resource, because it is a pain to make. So I would veer away from that. So the two options I would recommend, if you are struggling and you want a nice economy one, the crockery is a very easy one to actually maintain. However, the most powerful one is the vacuum cleaner if you have an abundance of celluloid, as it has a big economy and population increasing items. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and hopefully it was useful for you. The next video we'll be looking at the furniture store. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.